Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Non-stop. Let's celebrate our friends. All right? We ain't going to talk tariffs either. We're going to talk Canadian brewed bands, Canadian brewed beers. Tomorrow night, I will be out. I'm going to act like it's 1973, seeing the Guess Who at the Florida Theater. Burton Cummings is in. These eyes cry every night for you. These arms long to hold you again. Speaking of the eyes and hold you, can Trevor Lawrence hold the safety with his eyes? Can he hold the corner with his eyes? That'll be part of the responsibility of Spencer Whipple. Welcome to Duval, the UMass connection. Again, Don Brown twice. It was his dad, Mark Whipple, twice. Left UMass, came back to the zoo. Don Brown fired this year as the head coach at Massachusetts. But his the son of Mark Whipple, Spencer Whipple, is a guy that apparently has a pretty decent pedigree. And I think his task is enormous. It hasn't gotten a lot of play, obviously, because it hasn't even officially been reported by the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it did sneak out a little bit earlier today that he will come here now as the newest quarterback coach for Jacksonville. And, you know, a little bit later on in the program, I want to get back to the offensive line because I understand that I'm in the minority here, and I'm okay with that. But to me, the biggest hire that this organization makes is the offensive line coach. It is one position group that has been so inconsistent. And if there's been any consistency at all, it's been consistency as bad, right? And it has to change. And what I loved about Liam Cohen is he recognized this immediately. He talked about it. He took us through 5 or 6 different pinpointed areas that need to get better. He talked about his gap blocking control that they put in for Tampa Bay a year ago before pads went on and how they changed it once they did begin to hit. And obviously there's not a whole heck of a lot of that goes on throughout training camp. But to me, this may be one of the biggest components out of what Liam Cohen has showed in his very short tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He understands that if this team is going to move forward, if this is going to be a perennial playoff team, and that's saying something. This organization in the last 20 years has not gone back-to-back as far as trips to the playoffs. It's not going to happen overnight. And, again, that's clearly obvious with a first-time EVP in Baselli, with the 6 candidates that have been announced, including a little bit earlier today, James Gladstone, the Rams director of scouting, who has worked with Les Snead for the last 8 years with the Rams. That's 6 candidates, right? Going to be a brand new general manager, brand new head coach, brand new offensive coordinator, we expect, brand new defensive coordinator. The only holdover is special teams coordinator and Heath Farwell. The message has been sent. This is not a sprint. This is a longer time period to try to make things work here. That's what I get from Shad Khan, is that, yeah, there's always pressure in this league, but you're not bringing in a bunch of ex-coaches and a bunch of ex-offensive and defensive coordinators where the feeling is you better get to the playoffs, you better win this year. It doesn't demean the fact that they're trying to win. I just think they're looking at it long term. And that obviously I think that's the right way. You know, this is either going to blow up in their face, and we're going to look at it midway through the season and say, what a disaster. These hires did not work, or there's going to be a connection here. And it's really going to be, I think, magnificent to watch. And, we're months and months away, but everything keeps ticking around the NFL. I mean, you got the combine coming up in a couple of weeks. Then you have the draft. After free agency, the league year, is about 5 weeks away. So, we continuously do move forward. But, whether you bring in some guys now, and with Liam Cohen calling plays, there still is an opportunity for a run game coordinator. There still is an opportunity for a passing game coordinator. There still is an opportunity for an assistant head coach. There still is obviously the offensive coordinator. And again, I'm in the minority. I want Kevin Carberry. I want the offensive line coach that Liam Cohen just worked with in Tampa Bay. They've blocked the Jaguars. You can't get them with any other title outside of being the offensive coordinator. But let's just say they hire Carberry, and his primary responsibility is the offensive line, even though he's given the title offensive coordinator. And with that, he's going to make a pocket full of cash. Can you still do some things around it where, again, you bring in other coaches, offensive coaches, maybe your wide receiver coach becomes the passing game coordinator? I don't know. Maybe you understand where I'm going with this. There still is an opportunity to bring in other offensive minds and work to, collectively together. So this is going to be interesting. But let's get to Spencer Whipple here, all right? Because I think this is one that when you hear about it, you're kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like the Matt Edwards defensive line, or when we heard about Tem Lakabu, the linebacker coach, coming over for the Panthers, or we talked about Anthony Perkins, not Psycho, but the secondary coach who was with Green Bay a year ago with, the Packers as the defensive quality control coach. He also has some years spent at both Oregon State and Colorado State recently. Those are hires, and we don't know a great deal about them. We've had to research these type of guys. Same deal here with Spencer Whipple, but I understand where you are. You're like, quarterback coach, fine. Who's the GM? Quarterback coach, fine. Who's the offensive coordinator? So I understand where your degree of importance is. I get that. But with Spencer Whipple, I think this opportunity is enormous. I really do. And I don't want to throw Mike McCoy under the bus. What am I going to gain from that? But I played it for you when we had our one shot, and that's all you get with Mike McCoy. That's all you got under Doug Peterson. You got a round table with him once a year. And I played it from beginning to end. I could not believe the way that Mike McCoy defended Trevor Lawrence. Now, this was, right around camp time in 2024. And, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember it didn't boil my blood, but I was kind of like, really? You're excusing everything from him? And if you're doing that with members of the media, does that mean you're also doing that with him in that very small group that consisted, obviously, of Nick Holtz when he was here. Prior to that, Jim Bob Cooter. Prior to that, I guess that was the initial one with Doug Peterson and Mike McCoy. It's a very small group, Press Taylor, right? But if you're excusing it the way that McCoy did to me, McCoy made him sound like Joe Montana. McCoy made him sound like he never makes a mistake. And this was right after the 2023 season where Trevor Lawrence made mistake after mistake after mistake. Remember what the conversation was about Trevor. Why does he hang on to the ball so long? Why doesn't he protect the football? Oh, he's just trying to make a play. It really felt like last year he corrected those issues. I think it was constantly in his head. Get rid of the ball. Don't try to tuck and run. Don't try to pick up first downs the way that you used to. If you do, get down. And we saw what happened there, obviously, with the season-ending concussion. But it's wrong of me to base the way Mike McCoy coached him on one interview. And it was actually a couple of interviews that we did every year. I think it's around July or August. Okay? That's unfair, but that's all I got. That's all I can measure it off of. And particularly last year, and we did a big show on it. And if you remember, if you listen regularly, I do appreciate that. It was like, you've got to be kidding me here. You know, we're at the pro level. He's getting paid a lot of money. And I understand protecting your guy. I understand protecting your player. But if he's doing that to him, then he's never going to learn. So anyway, that's that before we get to Spencer Whipple. There are concerns here with Trevor Lawrence. His technique has gotten worse. Mechanically, he's nowhere near where he is supposed to be. It's not all Trevor's fault. Clearly, it's not all of his fault. He hasn't had a go-to rushing attack. He has not had a great offensive line. He has been injured. He has had now, this will be the fourth different play caller in 5 years that he has had. So obviously it's not all Trevor's fault. But on the flip side of that, hold on right now. We got an update here before I continue with my thought. Everyone's best friend, Rick Stroud, who came in here, and his outstanding reporting consisted of telling his Tampa Bay listeners that this team could still move to London. And that was on top of the fact that Rick Stroud also told his listening audience that the stadium was unsettled. But anyway, this just in seconds ago, Bucs assistant general manager Mike Greenberg has withdrawn his name from consideration for the Jaguars general manager's position. Remember, they lost Spy Tech to Vegas. Jason Licht does a really nice job in Tampa, but it appears that Mike Greenberg is probably going to get a bump in pay, and he's going to move up at least somewhat as far as his responsibilities. So, you know, that leaves Jacksonville with still 5 candidates, right? Ian Cunningham, who I think is the leader in the clubhouse. Chad Alexander feels like he's picking up a little bit of momentum coming from the Los Angeles Chargers. Brandon Brown, the assistant GM with the New York Giants. Trey Brown in Cincinnati, who was a finalist for the gig, replacing Joe Douglas with the New York Jets. And then, as we said at the top of the program today, another addition was added, and James Gladstone from the Rams as well as director of scouting. So we go from 6 to 5 candidates now. You can cross out Mike Greenberg. I should state that Ethan Waugh has an opportunity at this job as the assistant general manager, right now the official interim general manager with the Jaguars. Okay, I want to continue this thought because it's important. And I want to get info from you on this tonight. Again, a quarterback coach doesn't move the needle, so to speak. Heck, I may have given it more attention than it already deserves, but I can't express to you how in year 5, how important this is. Scripted plays by the Jaguars suck, okay? This football team is ass backwards when they script plays. They come out and they have no idea what is going on offensively. None. Okay? It is infuriating that professional football players can be so bad at their job offensively week after 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 week beginning a game. Okay? It should boil your blood. And scripted plays don't work. How's Mark Whipple going to handle that? What's Mark Whipple going to do? Excuse me, Spencer Whipple, his son. What's Spencer Whipple going to do when he looks at tape and he sees that Trevor Lawrence is a much better quarterback in no huddle? That he's a much better quarterback when he's getting the play in his helmet, or he himself is calling plays at the line of scrimmage. And we have to put that in parentheses, because when that does happen, and trust me, this football team has a ton of experience playing from behind. Our defenses in prevent. Is it a different look then in the second half than what they were showing? when the game began. I think that's something you have to take into consideration. What about the whole with Trevor Lawrence in the talking points? Again, don't hold on to the ball. Don't try to make a play. You're turning it over too much. What else has this organization said again and again and again? Get down, get down, get down. Well, he did get down. He still was concussed. Liam Cohen, and to me, this is a question that if I had more time, I would have asked him, and he will be asked this in the immediate future once there's an opportunity to really sit down and go deep with him as to what he is going to do. Bro, Baker Mayfield didn't get down. Okay? We watched it at the end of the year, and we watched it in the playoffs. Baker Mayfield does not slide. Baker Mayfield picked up very important first downs by taking on defenders, by taking on tacklers. So when you consider that, and that's where Liam Cohen is leaving, how do you get together with your new offensive staff, including Spencer Whipple, and just say, Trevor, you're not Baker. Trevor has more God-given ability than Baker, right? Trevor has skills that Baker does not. Baker's got things that Trevor has not shown. Baker's got heart. Baker's a guy whose teammates will run through a brick wall for him. I've had a lot of conversations with people in Tampa the last couple of weeks. They love Baker Mayfield. They play hard for Baker Mayfield. Does this team play hard for Trevor? Does this team run through a brick wall? They didn't defend Trevor, in my opinion, when his season came to an end. When he laid there concussed, outside of Jarian Jones and maybe Brandon Sher. I mean, come on. It was gutless. It was awful that this football team did not respond in a different manner. You just name a quarterback in this league, including Baker Mayfield, and then ask yourself a question. Do you think the coaching staff and the players would have handled things differently? The answer is yes. Didn't happen here. I'm not saying Trevor's not liked. There's a difference between being liked and literally playing hard for your leader, running through the brick wall for your leader. In today's world, that's few and far between. It happens in Tampa. Trevor Lawrence has twice the skills of Baker Mayfield. But Baker plays hard, and the guys around him want him to win. Something to consider. Let's dive into Spencer Whipple as we get things cruising right here on this Tuesday night. All right. First things first, we're going to play nothing but Canadian rock tonight because I'm taking tomorrow night off, going to the Guess Who to see Burton Cummings. So we're going to play a lot of that. I may have some gifts later in the program. You're going to have to keep it here for that. But fire it up tonight. Canadian rock bands, who do you like? There's some with some pretty impressive credentials. Also, Canadian booze. I feel like tomorrow night, the Florida Theater, I need some Moosehead, or I need some Labatt's Blue, or I need some Schooner Ale, or I need a Labatt's 50. I need a Molson Canadian. I need something, okay? So give me your favorite. And I grew up drinking that stuff in Boston. It's much more potent when you cross the line, whether it's legal or illegal, as far as the alcohol coming out of Canada. Some have said it could at one point be the 51st state in our great country. All right. Thank you to Shmunez Vision. They get us rolling each and every night right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Welcome to the practice, Dr. John Hunt. He's an ophthalmologist. And you're talking about 30 years worth of experience with very serious things that you cannot avoid, including cataract surgery, also cosmetic surgery, including eyelid surgery. I mean, a lot of different things that are there that are part of their arsenal. The best advice I can give you is just check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. Dr. Neo Shmunez performed surgery on my right eye 8.5 years ago. There's never been a setback. Dr. Catherine Shmunez. It's a legacy. Okay. Phenomenal people, and they are there for you. Again, check them out online at Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram and get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. Let's dive into this offense a little bit tonight. It's how we get things started. Also, we're 40 minutes away in the 7 o'clock hour. I am taking your phone calls at 641-1010. It's great to have you with us. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
Franz Wagner gets a step.
He jams it.
I'm Orlando's Magic Man, Franz Wagner.
A German hammer.
From Jacksonville Sports Radio, 1010 XL.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to bariorthopedics.com.
Find out more at bariorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Picking here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bow 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's already so incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And take advantage of extended savings this month. Get 40% off and another 15% off with 18-month special financing.
Attention homeowners, Chelsea here. For a limited time, Renewal by Andersen is making it easy to upgrade your home during our free window month. When you buy 4 windows or patio doors, you'll get 1 free. Our exclusive Fibrex material delivers the perfect combination of energy efficiency, durability, and style. Perfect for your home makeover this season. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. See website for details. License number CGC 1527613.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL celebrates high scorers.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists celebrate scholar athletes.
In class and on the court.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Eagles and Chiefs, this isn't just the biggest game of the year. It's the ultimate betting event. If you're not on MyBookie, you're missing out on the action. Big game betting with MyBookie goes beyond just picking the winner. We've got all the wild props you can think of for this epic showdown. MyBookie loves giving you options to bet on everything. What really makes MyBookie stand out, we make it easy to win and even easier to get paid. Whether you deposit with crypto or credit, bonuses await, and our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on big game boosted parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Fast signups, lightning fast payouts. This is where winners play. Why just watch when you can own the big game? Sign up with MyBookie now. Use promo code 1010XL and get your 50% sign up bonus to kick things off. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
This Black History Month profile is brought to you by McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Jacksonville native and Pro Football Hall of Famer Harold Carmichael played his high school football at Raines and was an all-conference receiver at Southern University. And in 1971, Carmichael would be drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, having a stellar career. He would set an NFL record for catching a pass in 127 consecutive games while leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance. And in 1980, would become the NFL's Man of the Year for his work off the field.
The big game is almost here, and Sonny's Barbecue wants you to win a barbecue feast. Text Sonny's to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010 for your chance to win. 641-1010.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1973 here. You can get 2 6-packs of Tab for 99 cents. Also a carton of Chesterfields for $5.
These eyes cry every night.
Trevor Lawrence, those eyes, man. You got to hold those DBs. Trevor back. He's got a wide open Gabe Davis. Davis just ran an impeccable run. Oh, Gabe drop. Oh!
The heaven's on me, yeah. I will never be free.
Burton Cummings tomorrow night. Gonna take a night off. He's, 77, so if they say he's going on at 7:30, he's going on at 7:30. So, going to mix in a little golf during the day, and then, again, pretend tomorrow night that this is the mid-70s. Really looking forward to that. Canadian rock. Have you seen all the Canadian booze we've already received on the text line at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures?
I've seen a little bit. What was one? One was Crown.
Crown Royal Black.
Yeah,
Molson Brador. We're getting quite a few political things in here as well. Molson Ale, Molson Golden, Labatt's. It just goes on and on and on. Hey, we have an update. This comes from Ian Rappaport on the heels of learning since we have been on the air that Mike Greenberg is no longer a candidate to be the general manager of the Jaguars, the current Buccaneers assistant GM. Let's add another candidate. Let's go to San Francisco. The director of scouting and football operations, Josh Williams. His name has been added according to Ian Rappaport. So we're back at 7 overall candidates for the Jaguars. And, what is the way that this is going to be put together? We were correct with the defensive coordinator late last week. It just felt that way. Feels like the offensive coordinator is next. If I was a gambling man that I am not, I would go with Nate Scheelhaus. It just feels like at the age of 34, that is the direction that this organization is going to go. I don't know that. That is just my feel. I've been pretty outspoken about what I would do. I would go with Kevin Carberry. Carberry did a wonderful job with the offensive line last year in Tampa. And in order to get him, you would have to make him the offensive coordinator / offensive line coach. He did work with Walker Little, for what it's worth, back at Stanford in years 2018 through 2020. So some stuff there to certainly consider. All right, let's getting a lot here on Trevor. It's man, it's a lot more negative than it is positive. I'm a little surprised by that because depending on what the situation is when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, I feel like there is more backing of Trevor, supporting of Trevor. And that is fine. I would expect that. But I would say for the most part, the texts that I'm receiving so far, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, are a negative. There is a large faction of people who never believe this is going to happen for Trevor Lawrence. But there's so many things that really need to change. And I gave you a list of them. I'm not saying he needs to start from scratch. This guy's been a decorated quarterback and a very successful quarterback his entire life. It's just gone to the wayside the last couple of years. One word I did not mention that I think needs to be discussed is his confidence. Where is it right now? Jacksonville is always among league leaders when it comes to wide receivers who have dropped balls. They're always among league leaders when it comes to being hit at the line of scrimmage or prior to the line of scrimmage when you run the football. In a lot of those situations, the scheme has been just terrible. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, running out of a shotgun. I mean, man up, right? Play big man football. And that's what they did in Tampa. Go back and watch what Liam Cohen ran and how many times they were under center and just how different their offense looked horizontally, vertically, really effective screen games. I mean, the screens around here were incredibly predictable. So I do think that this is a big part of it as well for Jacksonville. You have to fix this man's accuracy. His completion percentage is really bad, man. It was 60% last year. This guy, 4 years in the league, his completion percentage is 63%. Now, again, whenever I say this, it's like, be careful, Ballou. Tell us why. Okay, they can't run. Okay, they can't pass protect. Okay, they drop passes. Okay, 4th different caller of plays in now 5 years. Okay, I mean, the excuses are there, and we've used them all, and they're relevant. But in year 5, there has to be less of that. There has to be more put on him. Is he going to be elite? He should be up there with the best quarterbacks in the NFL, period. I believe the days of excusing him for the mistakes that this organization has made is over. Okay? And this is on him in his 5th year. I don't think he's a great leader. I would love to be proven wrong. I wondered about it coming out of Clemson. I asked Dabo Sweeney. Every year I go to Charlotte. For crying out loud, our conversations were not about the Clemson Tigers. They were about Trevor Lawrence and his leadership. I've watched the maturation. I've seen it change for the better. But I'll ask you, is he a leader the way that Brunell was a leader? Okay, and that's different. Brunell was a backup for a while, came over here, wasn't a rookie. Brunell didn't have the pressure anointed on him as being a generational quarterback. Look at completion percentage. Joe Burrow, 70.6. Jared Goff, 72.4. Baker Mayfield, 71.4. Is there anyone listening right now, any one of you, who would take Baker Mayfield over Trevor Lawrence? Any one of you. Dylan, would you take Baker Mayfield over Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Neither would I.
I'd take Trevor.
Neither would I. Baker Mayfield, 71.4%.
Yeah, had a career year this year.
Of his passes. 41 touchdowns. Okay? Geno Smith, 70.4. Sam Darnold, 66.2. The list goes on. Jackson, 66.7. Mahomes, 67.5.
Justin Herbert, 66.5.
Look at these quarterbacks. Yeah. Look at these. Trevor Lawrence, 60.6. 29th in the NFL. That has to change. He needs to become a more accurate passer. There needs to be a better scheme. There needs to be passes that are high percentage for Trevor Lawrence. And he also needs to become a better quarterback. He can't throw a Nolan Ryan 105-mile-an-hour fastball in a screen situation where you got a back that's 7 yards away from you. You got to have a little finesse. You got to have a little touch. This responsibility for Spencer Whipple, in my opinion, is enormous if they're going to use him correctly. Liam Cohen's calling plays. Liam Cohen's a former quarterback himself. He set every passing record at the University of Massachusetts. They're going to add more to this brain trust. But you've got to fix it all. You've got to put together a scheme that benefits Trevor Lawrence. You have got to put together a coaching staff that believes in him, but also is not afraid to call him out when things are going wrong. I don't know if Doug Peterson called him out. He did in the media. And when he did it, it sounded kind of remorseful. It sounded sophomoric. I don't know if he did that in meetings. This is huge. This is a big hire today, Spencer Whipple. Trevor Lawrence needs to change his footwork. He needs to change his technique. He needs to become a more accurate passer. He has failed miserably with first quarter scripted plays. He is a better quarterback just at the line of scrimmage. No huddle. And again, you have to, I know I'm repeating myself, but we have new listeners all the time. Is the defense different in those circumstances when the Jaguars are in no huddle, playing from behind? Are they in more of a prevent defense? It's one after the other here with Trevor. You know, I think that there is a reason to be encouraged. Certainly not over. You got 6 more years invested in this guy. You know, I mean, I'm not sitting here talking about the fact that I think he's going to be gun shy because he was concussed. I'm not talking about Blaine Gabbert here. I don't sense happy feet. I don't sense him looking over his shoulder expecting heat. He's a tough guy. I mean, that's very hard to fix. I don't see that being a problem. But becoming a better quarterback, man, there is room for all sorts of improvement here. All right, we'll grab some of your stuff on the other side. And again, we're going to grab phone calls coming up in 20 minutes tonight. The 7 o'clock hour is going to be nonstop calls from you, the listener. What do you have over there, Dylan? I've noticed one thing since you've come on board. You are such a generous human being. First of all, what's your Canadian drink of choice? I know you're not a big drinker.
No, I usually just drink some kind of Tito's or a Captain Spice rum.
Okay.
That's about all I do.
Okay.
Is Crown Canadian?
I'm not sure.
I saw somebody say, I tried for the first time about a month or so ago. It was a New Year's. I tried a Crown Sour Apple with Sprite. And there's a lot of sugar in that. It tastes like candy. It tastes pretty good.
Could see you drinking like Canadian Mist.
Yeah, I do like that.
I think my granddad drank Canadian Mist back in the day. Anyway, what do you have?
Let's see. The Burton Cummings show tomorrow, 7:30. I have 2 pair of tickets. So we're trying to give away both now, or how are we doing this?
Can we give out all 4?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do this. There's only been 5 inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. From Canada, who was first to be inducted into the United States Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, nestled right there in Cleveland? It can either be the name of a rock group or it can be a name of an individual artist. No surprises here, no gimmicks here, straight out facts. 641-1010. First answer, who gets that correct, you get 4 tickets tomorrow night to see Burton Cummings, and I'll be there. Looking forward to it. That'll be at the Florida Theater. 641-1010. That's the way to get in to win the tickets.
1010XL's Dan Hicken dominated Folio Weekly's Best of 2024. Best TV sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports show starring Dan Hicken. 1010XL, the home of Dan Hicken.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. 5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots. And for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag. Maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So, guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hammond, Valentine's Day is coming up. Got any romantic plans?
Dad, I'm married to Clean Air. My plan is to help Jacksonville families breathe easier.
You're helpless, but Clean Air does sound nice. Can duct cleaning really help?
Absolutely. Dust, allergens, even odors can build up in your ducts. Cleaning them now makes your air fresher and healthier for your family. The EPA says better indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So cleaning ducts are like Valentine's Day gift for the house.
Exactly. Forget chocolates. Fresh air lasts longer and doesn't melt. Plus, we've got a February special, $100 off your total.
All right, sign me up. Maybe fresh air will make Mom fall in love with me again all over.
You'll have to take her to dinner for that, but cleaner air will definitely help.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, if you're ready to show your home some love, Google Zerorez and read over 7,000 five-star reviews. Zerorez.
Spelled Florida backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Cerorez.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Big game this Sunday, which means parties, libations, and food. The exact scenario Awaken 180 was built for. Why? Because you eat to lose weight. Do it once, enjoy the process, then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Hey folks, Mike Detsy here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Don't miss the big game specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Check out our website for the big game snack attack, party combo, sampler combo, and the best buffalo dip you've ever had.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling. Hi, the answer is the band. First ever Canadian rock artist to be inducted. They actually, and I know a lot of people know this with the Bob Dylan movie that's now out, they started as a band that was jamming with Bob Dylan in the late 60s. So Robbie Robertson and company wrote their own music. A lot of people thought it was Neil Young. The band went in a year before Neil Young. Neil Young's in twice. He's in with Buffalo Springfield, band that also included Stephen Stills. We got our winners over there, Dylan?
Yes, we got Mr. Ron and Mr. Brett will be joining the show tomorrow in the crowd and enjoy their time.
Maybe I'll sneak in a flask of some Canadian Mist. And you said it was who? Ron and who?
Ron and Brett.
Hey, man, we'll meet right by the restroom there and pretend we're back in college. Joni Mitchell is in. Folk rocker or folk music. Sensational in her time. Leonard Cohen. And Rush finally got it. It took Rush forever. You know, Rush actually started in the late 60s. People don't believe that. They thought of more as like a mid-70s when the Moving Pictures LP came out. That was their enormous album. And then through the 80s, love Rush. And Neil Peart died, unfortunately. I was seeing a Dan Rather thing the other night. It was on YouTube with Geddy Lee, the bassist and lead singer, about he's a huge baseball fan. I'm not exaggerating here. I bet he's got 5, 6, 7, 800 autographed baseballs. I mean, going back to Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle. He's got some serious cash in memorabilia. But the guess who's not in? Bryan Adams isn't in. Bachman Turner Overdrive is not. How can you not put Gordon Lightfoot in? I mean, it's slow rock, right? You're putting rap in, you're putting country in, you're putting pop in. Don't even get me started. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is awful. I hate that I had to use that as our question.
I thought you were going to bring up Beyonce winning a Grammy at the. What did she win? Country. She won some country song.
Did she really?
Yeah. Everybody was tripping.
Did she write one, or did she have a country song? I mean, I like
Beyonce. She had a
great voice.
Song. And people were losing their mind.
Here's as I go, is 0489 saying usually people meet in the bathroom for something different. It's in some connotations for stuff that goes up your nose.
She won Country Album of the Year.
That's not me, dude. You can think what you want, but I ain't blowing lines in the Florida Theater bathroom, okay? There's a few things that you can guarantee that I'm going to do to I may shoot down a slug of Canadian Mist. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I said Beyonce won Grammy for Country Album of the Year.
Oh, really? Okay, well, they cross over genre to genre, you know? Some people have it. And there you go. 1201, Ballou. Trevor Lawrence has not had a good offensive line or good receivers or blocking line protection or a good play caller since he has been in Jacksonville. He's had one piece or half of another. The guy is the ultimate baller. If he can get an offensive line that will stop people from penetrating and block pancake, that will also be saying that quarterback Trevor Lawrence is the truth. There is a lot of truth to what you said there. And I think every time that I talk about Trevor, I go through the litany of reasons why it hasn't worked. Okay? And that's why, and I'm happy that I was right. Get him a play caller who's going to be a head coach. So if all of a sudden this team starts winning a lot of games and they start going to the playoffs, that you don't have to worry about losing your offensive coordinator because he becomes a head coach with another team. In this case, if you lose your offensive coordinator, and we still don't know who it is, yeah, it hurts, but you still have your play caller as your head coach. The next thing that I want, and I'm all over this, hire the best offensive line coach that you can possibly get. I think it's Kevin Carberry, who worked last year with Liam Cohen. You have to make him the offensive coordinator. Make him the O coordinator. And then when you finish out your staff, add an assistant head coach. Or when you hire another offensive position coach, make them a passing game coordinator or a running game coordinator. Get more people in there to watch this thing evolve. I always put the disclaimer there with Trevor. On the flip side, it's also time. It is. It's time. And, you know, I've argued, and I don't want to use the word argue. We have a lot of regular listeners and myself have disagreed on what this team should do. And it's very fortunate that you have 10 draft picks, including number 5 and number 36. You have plenty of money to spend, and you can create even more if you release some of these veterans. Most of you are all about a defensive tackle, a corner, and safeties. And I get it fully. But that's not me. What do you hear me say? Right guard. Overspend for a right guard. Overdraft for a right guard. A number 2 wide receiver. I don't think you can walk back Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk. They get injured. You can't rely on them. You can't pay $24 million, man. That's the cap figure for Kirk. You know, the Whipple thing is interesting, right? Because Whipple has spent the last 6 years in Arizona with Cliff Kingsbury, with Jonathan Gannon. Who else was in Arizona? Christian Kirk. Does this feel like Spencer Whipple is an indictment, you know, is another example to believe that Christian Kirk is going to be here? For this team can afford to pay him $24 million and just keep him right there. I'd be surprised if they restructured and added years. I really would. I think it's one or the other. You're going to pay this guy $24 million to be a slot wide receiver, or you're going to let him go. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Your phone calls are coming up this hour. I want to hear from you. There is so much to get into. Your opinion on Cohen. Your opinion on Baselli. Your opinion on what I'm saying about Trevor. Your opinion on the offensive line. In my mind, it is the most important thing you have to fix. 641-1010. That is the way to get in. 641-1010. We're going to grab your calls this entire hour. You can also get us on the text line, same number, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
There are moments in every life when we're faced with a choice that could change everything. He's going for it.
Great glorious day.
Choose 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's new year, new truck time at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% zero APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere in Jacksonville. Shop 24/7 online at nimnikbuickgmc.com. Value your trade and customize your payment options in seconds. Nimnik Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 12th through 16th. The Daytona 500 is sold out, but you can still win a 4-pack of tickets to all the other Speed Weeks races. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? For a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Speed Weeks races, text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom. You'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Yo, each of the T here from MyBookie, and it's finally here. A game so big, we're not even supposed to say the name. Where the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles at the Superdome. This isn't just the biggest game of the year, it's the ultimate betting event. If you're not on MyBookie, you're missing out on all the action. Big game betting with MyBookie goes beyond picking the winner. We've got all the wild props you can think of for this epic showdown. Will it be heads or tails? What color will the Gatorade be for the drenching of the winning coach? Even the length of the national anthem and the spectacle of the halftime show are up for grabs. MyBookie loves giving you options to bet on everything. What really makes MyBookie stand out? We make it easy to win and even easier to get paid. Whether you deposit in crypto or credit, bonuses await. And our new loyalty program gives you cash back just for playing. Bet on the big game boost parlays, live betting, and jackpots that can turn small bets into big wins. Fast signups, lightning fast payouts. Make sure you sign up using my promo code 1010XL to get that deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Come on, somebody.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Prosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month. And if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Florida Forum welcomes best-selling author and journalist Carl Hyacin, February 12th. Funds raised go to a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,200 infants and children a year to Wilson Children's Hospital. Get your tickets at thefloridaforum.com or call 202-2886. 202-2886.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Want to get into the officials at some point. Maybe do that Thursday or Friday as we get closer to the Super Bowl. Tonight, however, quite a bit of news. Spencer Whipple's been added as the quarterback's coach. Really have been pretty expressive on what I think his job could turn into. His massive amount of responsibility to get to Trevor Lawrence. And, yeah, I'll be the first to raise my hand. I was burnt. I thought the combination of Peterson and Taylor and going back to Jim Bob Cooter with Mike McCoy would have worked around here, and it didn't. And I thought Phil Rauscher was a really good offensive line coach. Everything I heard, certainly when I met him, came across as a guy who's a good coach. It just didn't work around here. So, you know, my enthusiasm has dropped a little bit. Some of you right now, I mean, I'm on YouTube here. Sean's like, I thought we were being positive. Where did this turn into a Trevor Lawrence cooking Trevor Lawrence? I don't know that it did. Mr. Know-It-All said the 16 excuses for number 16. So to me, that's a blessing. To me, that's like radio gold. 2 in a row. One says, I'm giving all the excuses for Trevor. The other said, why you cooking on Trevor? Right? I mean, that's like the ultimate compliment. Just to be honest, it is. And you know, I'm not cooking on Trevor, but it's time. It's time. And everything needs to be put together, right? All the resources need to be put into this offense first, then get to the defense. That's my way of looking at it. And again, I know most of you out there don't agree with that. At least the first thing, the thing I wanted more than any happened. That's Liam Cohen calling plays. So far this has been an A-plus offseason. All right, let's grab calls this hour. Crying out loud, I got 10 million texts, but wide open phone lines. What's going on with you? Do you people no longer talk? I mean, we're not trying to get a date here. If that was the case, I understand it's all on the text line at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, but we'll take calls. Same number, 641-1010. Let's kick it off by going to DJ. Welcome.
Hey, Uncle Rick, how we doing,
Good.
sir?
Doing well, thank
Love
you.
the show, man. I just wanted, something's been bugging me this last couple of weeks. This whole situation down here in Tampa with these fans. Let's just put this to bed real quick. You know, these fans were convinced by their media that they were going to run Bowles out of town, move him in the front office, whatever. Cohen's going to take their job. That was led by these clowns like Stroud and guys like this.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have Stroud comes up here, and here's the funny story about him coming up here for the press conference and then going back and writing all that. I went to an Iceman game the next night after 2 nights later. There are cranes in the parking lot of the stadium ready to start ripping things up. And that guy saw those cranes, and so he knew that that was going on. And so I did a little more research on him, and I guess he's like a big wrestling writer and whatever. So it's almost like he tore a page right out of the WWE handbook. and just get the fans going. But hey, Rick, thanks for leading the charge down here, man. We love you, and go and head over to the Blue Crab right now for pitcher margaritas.
Oh, my goodness. Enjoy yourself. Yeah. $2 margaritas, $9 pitchers tonight. Good till 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow night, $1 steamed oysters. Yeah, I was really surprised and disappointed with Rick Stroud because I'm not going to say I know Rick well, but I've read him forever. I mean, I read him when I was here before. I read him in Chicago. I read him since I've been back here. And again, it's just another example of knowing who you can trust when it's Jaguar-related information that is not local. And that was a massive miss to come out and say the stadium situation is not settled and this organization could still end up moving to London. I mean, just really uncalled for, in my opinion. All right, open line, 641-1010 if you want to get on in. Let's go to Bob, who is next. How you doing, Bob?
Good, Rick. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great, thanks.
Hey, just as it relates to Trevor, I'm just wondering, do you think his development was hindered by, the fact that, when the offense was running with Doug calling plays and you had Jim Bob Cooter designing plays and he left and then Doug stops play calling and then we go to a situation where this year where we're dead last in pre-snap motion, which quarterbacks love to have in order to be able to diagnose the defense. I'm hopeful with Liam calling the plays and having a more complicated offense might actually help. What are your thoughts?
I appreciate that. Bob opens up a line. As a matter of fact, we do have open lines if you'd like to get on in, 641-1010. I think it's going to be a totally different offense, but the major difference that we're going to see here is what Peterson had originally, is that he was the guy. He was the guy that's going to take the input from the entire staff, but he is going to be the one that is calling plays and that he wants to call plays. There's a difference between calling plays and wanting to call plays. I asked Liam Cohen the question at the press conference, okay? He was excited. You could tell that was a big part of this whole process, that it's his football team, but he is going to be the guy who is calling plays. That pre-snap motion, all of that is it's going to be especially intriguing because here's the other part that I gather is happening, okay? I don't know this, but this is my thought on it, is that Liam Cohen is a smart enough guy that he believes you have to run your offense based on the players that you have, based on the personnel that you have. You cannot be so hard-headed that you have the best offense in the NFL, you have the best offense in football, let's run it. No, you have to understand your team's positives and your team's weaknesses. I can only imagine what he's thinking right now going through film study. I would think the first thing that he would look at is this team cannot effectively run the football. The offensive line scheme has been very complex around here, and that is something that is going to have to change based on these offensive linemen. It's also going to be a difficult process because you don't hit, and you don't end up hitting until, the first couple of weeks of camp or until you get into these preseason games, or maybe you have an opponent that you can practice with, which I think is incredibly important. Then on top of that, you got to design your offense. I mean, we saw Baker do some things, including the balls that he would throw to Mike Evans, corner of the end zone, using his height, things that Baker could do with Mike Evans. And, I watched a ton of Tampa football. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend that I knew that offense well, but it looked like they did a lot of crossing patterns. It looked like their horizontal game was much better than Jacksonville. I do think that the Jaguars have an opportunity to really exploit defenses vertically. I believe that. I've had people tell me, well, Gabe Davis, watch this. He's going to get healthy. He's going to be Mike Evans. I'm like, whoa. Do you really believe that? Okay. We'll end up seeing. Their screen attack was so different than what Jacksonville ended up doing. And, look at how they were able to run the football. The word around Tampa is that it was you had Rashad White who was there. And then what? It was a 4th-round selection that was used for Bucky Irvin. And Liam Cohen was the guy that was all about bringing him in. And just look at what that Tampa Bay football team did when it came to running the ball. I threw it out last week. I said, all right, are Irving and White that much better than Etienne and Bigsby? What we know is better is Tampa Bay's offensive line. That's better. Are their backs better? If Etienne and Bigsby went to Tampa with Liam Cohen calling plays and that offensive line, would they have missed a beat? If you brought White here and you brought Bucky Irvin here, would it have been the same? We'll never know the answer to that question. But I'm not looking at this like Tampa Bay overwhelmingly has better backs than Jacksonville. I disagree. I think the Jaguars have good backs. I do. I think you got to get Tank Bigsby lathered up, and he may be able to with this new offense. I think that Travis Etienne may end up benefiting more than anyone on this offense, including the screen game. 2 different backs. I look at that as a positive. I also wouldn't be surprised at all if you see Jacksonville address running back in 4th, 5th round, because this is the final year for Travis Etienne. Let's grab one more before the break. 641-1010. How you doing, Adam?
Ricky B, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, buddy. Hey, man, you know me. We're golf buddies, all right? And I'm just letting you know, look, you're right about the backs. This is the last year for Etienne, and it should be, because we chew them up and we spit them out.
Right.
And that's what every team does, and they should do that with him. They'd be insane to give him big money next year. They'd be insane to do that.
Yeah.
But I want to switch to the defense for a second.
Right.
If this team does not draft Mason Graham, if he's there, they're insane. They missed out on Hutch a couple years ago with a stupid draft pick. All right. And Mason Graham is a monster. His tape shows it. Everything shows it. You know I'm a Michigan guy. You know that. All right. But I'm telling you, he's a monster. His hands, everything that he does gets off the ball. His film shows it. If they don't take him and he's available, they're missing a massive fill of a massive hole that they have on this team.
Appreciate
it, buddy. You know I love you. See ya.
All right, take care. And most believe that. And listen, I'm okay with that as long as they address right guard or number 2 wide receiver in free agency. And then you turn right around, and if you don't address them both, you address the other position with the 36th overall pick. You understand where I'm going? I get where you are with this guy. And I understand as well that if it's not him, the interest ends up being a second corner. All right. Michigan ran what? They ran a 3-4 defense, a little bit of a hybrid defense, but a 3-4 defense. We still don't know. We don't know what type of defense this football team is going to add. I mean, and the more I read about Anthony Campanile, the more I like him. Okay? I mean, he really is an energetic guy who they rave about. I mean, speaking of Michigan, look at what Rashawn Gary had to say about him last year in Green Bay, where they ran a 4-3 this past year. But we know he learned under Brian Flores. He learned under Vic Fangio. 2 brilliant 3-4 defensive coaches who do things differently. Remember, Flores spent, 10 years in New England learning under Belichick, the ultimate hybrid defense. You can ask forever, what does New England run? 3-4-4-3. I guess in all those years when they had Matt Patricia and they had Romeo Crennel and they had Jared Mayo and they had Brian Flores and all of these guys, I guess technically it would be defined as a 3-4. But if you ever watched the New England Patriots in their heyday, they had you guessing all the time what they were doing defensively. I'd love to say that there's enough talent on this defense that Jacksonville is able to do the exact same thing. But right now, I don't know. And, listen, last night, Dave Campo, another great defensive mind. People make a bigger deal out of the identity of the 3-4 and the 4-3 than perhaps what it actually does mean. Myself included. I always make a big deal about that. There's a guy who spent his entire life coaching defenses. Things change all the time. Gap responsibility, whatever it may be, your assignments, just because you're defined as something, and we know that, 50, 60% of the plays, it's more than 50, it's at least 60, are now going to be in nickel coverage. Let's take a break here, but, what stands out to you when you look at this defense, when you look at the personnel? If you run a 3-4 defense, do you have enough with Mason Smith and Eric Armstead and Devon Hamilton? Now, you're down on Armstead. Hamilton has a great August every year, even 2 years ago before he hurt the back. Doesn't really, not consistent, right? Mason Smith is a big what if. Right? And could you move one of those guys on the edge? Does Trayvon Walker become, let's say, an edge guy in a 3-4? Or is it a no? You're putting Walker at linebacker, you're putting Hines Allen at linebacker, then you take the other three and you find two. I think it should be Ventrell Miller and Foye Oluokun. Others may say Devin Lloyd. I don't know. But what if you put Walker on the edge? Can you then have Hines Allen on one side, maybe Ventrell Miller on the other side? I don't know. Devin Lloyd on the other side. The day I fall into that wooden box and they drop me 6 feet under, my last breath is going to be, has Devin Lloyd blitzed the quarterback yet? I mean, we just started. Is this where it finally happens? I mean, don't tell me you're going to put Devin Lloyd in coverage, right? You couldn't cover me. Don't tell me that. So hey, listen, I freaking love this time of year. I do. I love coming in here and you don't have to roll in after a loss. I love trying to figure out, what is this team going to do? And look, I've spent almost the entire show on offense, and now we get a great defensive question. Most of you believe, with our last caller, Adam, that this team has to go defense. And I'll be okay with that as long as they take care of right guard and wide receiver in free agency, or at least one of those two. And then they immediately address that with pick number 36. Don't kid yourself. You can get a really good football player at 36. You can get a starter at 36. I've read a ton on the Senior Bowl. Haven't had a chance to talk about it because the Jaguars keep adding coaches and everything. But there are interior offensive linemen that you can get at 36 that you can plug in immediately and start. I hope that that's the case for this team. All right, we got much more to do. I want to get back to some of these texts. There's a lot rolling in. I want to give you an opportunity as well to voice your opinion. The best way to do it is we have open lines. The number is 641-1010.
Aye, Captain. You're sailing on the Jaguars flagship station. 1010 XL.
Denny Thompson here. This is the last week to enter for a chance to win a $2,500 prize over at the new Tyson Sound and Security showroom. I'm talking a 75-inch loaded Samsung TV with 3D surround sound, a soundbar with wireless subwoofer, and installation is included. Stop by the new showroom, check out the setup, and drop your name in the box to enter for your chance to win. Giveaway ends Sunday, so go now to Tyson Sound and Security, 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club is an attractive destination for golfers all over the Southeast. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that will test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. Single Care works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check Single Care to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Love is in the air this February, but nothing kills the mood like a plumbing or HVAC problem. Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, don't worry. We've got you covered. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Our expert team is here to keep your home running smooth, no matter the issue. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caaleague.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Don here, the big cheese at Taco Lou. Well, everyone knows my wife Debbie is the real cheese at the Lou. We just do what we're told. We aren't a sports bar at all, but we have the best selection of the finest tequilas that Mexico has to offer, and that makes any basketball game more fun to watch. So come into Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach, where we love sports and we love tacos with our tequila. If you're looking for a crew to help with your fiestas at home or work, Taco Lou caters, bringing the tacos to you. Taco Lou in Jacks Beach, where tacos and sports go hand in hand.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is probably Rush's first song ever on the radio. This was actually before Neil Peart joined the three-man band. For those of you wondering. All sorts of good stuff coming in. With you tonight till 8, back Thursday and Friday. Going to see Bergen Cummings tomorrow night at the Florida Theater of the Guess Who. Some Canadian rock. So we're playing all Canadian rock here tonight. And asking you your favorite Canadian brew. Remember traveling whenever we would go to Detroit. I'd try to get members of the Jaguars radio crew to slide on through the tunnel to Windsor, but no. Why would you do that when you can just have a cocktail at the hotel lounge bar? It's kind of crazy over there in Windsor. Man, you just barely cross the line. And it's gentleman's club after gentleman's club after gentleman's club. Insane, let me tell you. I was back in my running and ripping days, or back when I was a little bit... I don't know. I can't do that anymore. Have trouble getting up the next morning. 5901 Ballou, give me Baker. All the supposed talent, which is unrealized for Trevor, looking the part and getting the job done are two different things. He doesn't get the job done. I hope it works out. I hope he comes around, but I don't believe in him. I'm getting a lot of these tonight, and I've been getting a lot of them repetitively, in season, off season. The majority of the folks defend Trevor, but there's no middle ground. That's what I've noticed. You're either set on the fact that it's not his fault and that it will come. And by the way, there's still a very good chance that it will. He's only 25 years of age. He's only played 4 years in this league, and there have been massive problems with this organization, start to finish. And I do. I want to believe that the right hire happened with Cohen. The right hire happened yesterday with Baselli, that they're changing things for the better. But a lot of people would disagree with that. 5602. I think Trevor Lawrence is hyper-aware, and I believe he will start winning, and he starts playing well. He will become a very good leader. We saw a glimpse of it during the 2022 run. Yeah. Yes. I mean, but I look at Jaden Daniels, and he looks, I don't want to use the word effortless, but he looks unrattled. He doesn't look like a rookie. I mean, incredible poise. Incredible confidence and certainty in what he was able to do. Some of those passes that he made, his escapability, just the complete package. And, I felt like we saw a little bit of that with Trevor in 2022. I mean, the guy threw 5 interceptions and came from behind and won a playoff game. I mean, that's historic that he was able to do things along those lines. But yeah, I expected more. And there's so much that needs to be changed. And this new organization, I hate to use the word, but I almost feel like there has to be a little bit of patience here. And I know you don't want to hear that because you've been patient for 30 years. And this guy's making $55 million a year. He needs to become a better football player, but they need to do everything else around him to make him better. There are certain quarterbacks in pro football who are so good that there can be deficiencies in their offense and they still get the job done. Joe Burrow is one I'll look at. It's always a terrible offensive line. Well, the flip side is what? They didn't make the playoffs this year. They did not. The year he did go to the playoffs and went to the Super Bowl, I mean, he was sacked. It was like a record-setting time. 6351 Ballou, is he ever going to be above average? I'm not convinced. Above average? I think above average, yeah. But he needs to be elite. This man needs to be a top 5 quarterback. He was drafted with that pedigree. Is an above-average quarterback good enough? Is an above-average quarterback going to get you to a Super Bowl? I mean, some will say Jalen Hurts is an above-average quarterback. He's not elite. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but look at the team. Look at the team around him. Look at how ferocious they are in the ditch. Look at the dogs they have on the defense. Look at that defensive line. Look at that front seven, even after a huge injury. And look at some of the ballers they have, man. I mean, Barkley's the best back in football. A.J. Brown, getting into it and complaining, whatever, if he doesn't get, 15 balls thrown to him a game. I think Jalen Hurts absolutely is. And there's another one right now. Again, I understand our audience. You're either hell yeah or hell no. But if you went around the league and said, who would you rather have, Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence? A lot of people are going to say Jalen Hurts. 60-66. Amen, Rick. Trevor needs to be better. No more excuses. I hate the excuses. They drive me crazy. What does this say? Rick, unacceptable to Doug and Jaren's response. Why are more people not shocked? Didn't want to be talked down, smugged up. Yeah, I raise that, and I do every once in a while, and I look at things differently. I do. I try to change with the times on most of my opinions. I understand that old school is dead. Okay? Old school's never returning. It's just not. But I'm sorry. When you laid out Trevor the way that they did, I am still incredibly disappointed how that football team reacted. I mean, what did they win at that point when he went down? What did they have, 3 wins? Guys should have been getting the gate. Guys should have lost their mind. But, it just feels like this, I don't want to get fined. Doug Peterson's comments after were just awful. I was really appalled by it because that's just my mentality, man. I'm eye for an eye. You knocked your quarterback out. And again, the moral of the story is just look at Cesario. Look at what happened over in Houston with DeMeco Ryans. And I know I say it a lot, but it bothers me. It does. Those guys were 100% wrong in Houston. You cannot defend what they did. It was a cheap shot. And they said so much more about it and defended it. Can you imagine being a fan of that team, knowing that you're wrong? But they said, who cares? We're going to defend our guy. We're going to defend our football team. Around here, they didn't. They said a couple of right things, gave you a couple of canned answers. It started with Peterson. It was awful. He's gone. Of course, we never heard from Balky, right? I mean, why would you hear from Balky? Well, you heard from Nick Cesario, didn't you, in Houston? Nick Cesario stood up and said something. Maybe with Tony Baselli here now, maybe Tony Baselli says something. Or he gets whoever the general manager is going to be to say something. Okay? This current organization, or the one that just got fired, was too timid. It at least win over your team. At least show your team that you care. Show your fans that you care. You knocked your franchise quarterback out. He's yet to return. And we just kind of looked at this like, yeah, no big deal. It's awful. So let's credit what they're doing. They're gone. Doug Peterson, you're gone. Trent Baalke, you're gone. I expect if something like this happens again, and trust me, I don't ever want, for Liam Cohen to stand up and say that is BS. And for players on the team to defend this, and a couple of them did. Jarian Jones did, Brenton Strange. I mean, some guys did, but I mean, it's kind of like going through the motions, right? I mean, did it really feel like I'll sacrifice a paycheck? Watch this. You don't touch my quarterback. Not enough of that. And this is another example of why Tony Baselli's great with this job. You think if Tony Baselli was the executive vice president of football operations and the team had won 3 games and you concussed the starting quarterback, that he would have been okay with that? Tony Baselli? Hell no. They just hired him. I love it. Big fan of it. All right, let me give you the latest before the break. Actually, we'll give it to you on the other side. It involves some transactions with the Jaguars, also some other news that has happened, if you have not heard, involved with general managers. So it has. It's been a pretty busy Tuesday here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm under the belief that the offensive coordinator is going to be hired very soon. Could be announced tonight. Could be announced tomorrow. If you notice, there has been very little activity, at least reported activity. So I'm under the impression that the candidates have gone through the interview process. Will there be a call back? Is it a Zoom call? Do they fly them here to town? But I almost feel like the majority of the work is done for the offensive coordinator. We're just waiting on the announcement. The general manager is going to take a little bit more time, and I'll actually take a look at that on the other side. It's good to have you with us tonight. I am Rick Ballou with you till 8. Hacker joins you then.
Get in the game.
On one, ready.
With 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Superstation.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
When the heat's on high or the chill is too much, who you gonna call? Cool Cats Heating and Cooling is locally owned and operated with a perfect touch. You'll keep your home just right, day or night. AC to heating, don't take a beating. Call the coolest cats in town. With a 5-star Google rating, they're your neighbors, ready to help. So get your paw of approval from Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. CoolCatsJacks.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
This month, 1010XL shines the spotlight on African Americans in our community who have made the First Coast a better place to live. I'm E.T. Listen for my stories during Black History Month on 1010XL. Brought to you by Instant Keys and McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center.
What does it mean when someone says the continental United States?
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners insurance rates when it's time to renew. Before storm season, log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote or find an agent in your area.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The continental United States refers to all United States in North America. Hawaii is in the southern hemisphere.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Crosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month, and if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It all
begins with Speed Weeks presented by Advent Health, February 12th through 16th. The Daytona 500 is sold out, but you can still win a 4-pack of tickets to all the other Speed Weeks races. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? For a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Speed Weeks races, text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Is your office productivity running at full speed? Advanced Business Solutions has the solution with Xerox copiers. Whether you need high-volume printing, scanning, or secure document management, Xerox copiers deliver efficiency, quality, and innovation. With features like cloud integration and mobile printing, Xerox is perfect for any modern office. Let ABS help you streamline your workflow. Better known, Advanced Business Solutions.
Advanced Business Solutions.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Team 10XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Welcome to Jacksonville, Mr. Whipple. Spencer Whipple, the UMass connection, son of Mark Whipple, who, Liam Cohen did not play for Mark Whipple at UMass as the head coach. It was Coach Brown, Neil Brown, who was in. But both Whipple and Brown did a back and forth. They were there and they returned at the University of Massachusetts. But Spencer Whipple has spent the last 6 years as the passing game coordinator in Arizona and is thought of very highly. Of course, working with both Cliff Kingsbury and Jonathan Gannon kept him around. So whenever someone keeps you around, that's usually a pretty good indication of what you're thought of. And he comes here now with, I think, an opportunity to really watch Trevor Lawrence hopefully turn the corner. And I know that that's what just about all of you out there want to see take place. All right, Mike Greenberg, Buccaneers assistant general manager. He has removed his name to be a candidate for the Jaguars vacancy at general manager. A couple of additions today. James Gladstone, Rams director of scouting. Also, the 49ers director of scouting and football operations, Josh Williams. Those two were reported while we were on. Actually, Gladstone was before we went on air. Williams happened while we were on air. So those two additions today. There are 4 others. Ian Cunningham, well, I've been on the belief is the leader. And he worked with Howie Roseman. He worked with Ozzie Newsome. So winning organizations in Philadelphia and Baltimore, respectively. Chad Alexander is the Chargers assistant general manager. Brandon Brown is the Giants' assistant general manager. Trey Brown nearly got the Jets job. He was a finalist. He is the Bengals senior personnel executive. So those are the 6 candidates. Ethan Waugh would be 7. The assistant GM, who right now is the interim GM, still with a an opportunity to get that job. And I think we're going to find something out here in the immediate future. Well, not the immediate future. I think offensive coordinator is next. And then you're going to see more and more position coaches. It's really interesting. The general manager, has had no say in any of this. I have always been on the belief that the coach should hire his assistants, right? And what was the last big hire around here? It was Ryan Nielsen, and, the word was that was a Trent Baalke guy. That was not a Doug Peterson guy. Wanted to get into Myles Garrett a little bit today. Maybe I'll do that later in the week. The Jaguars are 40-1 to get him. But, man, what would you give up to get Myles Garrett? This guy is special. I think he's the best defensive player right now in the NFL. 40-1, so Jacksonville's not involved. And obviously Jacksonville does have a couple of pass rushers, but they got some interesting decisions they're going to have to make. Again, we don't know the style of defense that the Jaguars are going to employ this year, and they have some crucial decisions that they're going to have to make. Trayvon Walker, it feels like, question. You sign Trayvon Walker, right? He's been one of the better football players around here. Get the deal done. But that market is going to be insane. It was also, it was already very high for Josh Hines-Allen. And again, I hate to say it this way, but it's true. Name me the last Jaguar who was drafted here, who re-signed here, who played up to the contract. Give me one. You can't. Tyson Campbell didn't play up to it this year. Josh Hines-Allen didn't play up to it this year. Trevor Lawrence didn't play up to it this year. Walker Little got extended, then got hurt. Devon Hamilton, no. It's an unfair question somewhat, but, Myles Garrett, if they make a trade for Myles Garrett, no matter who makes the trade, he's going to want a fresh new deal, right? Aiden Hutchinson, just like Trayvon Walker, is now available to get an extension. What is he going to command? TJ Watt, final year of his contract. Okay? He's going to want to be extended. Nick Bosa is signed for 2 more years. Is it beneficial now to redo his deal compared to waiting another year? But anyway, my point is there you go. Those are pass rush ends. That's going to move the market. You got Walker Little to give you a little bit of a hometown discount because he doesn't have a lot of starts. I'm sure for him, $15 million a year, the way that he got it is a sensational contract. Who knows what he would have been able to command in the open market? The guy's been hurt. The guy was hurt at Stanford. The guy's been hurt here. So I think it's a good deal. Trayvon Walker's not going to give you one of those. This is going to be an addition to what Josh Hines-Allen actually made. So that's another very important decision. Jacksonville right now has cash. There's no doubt about it. And I happen to be under the belief that they're not going to go crazy this year in free agency simply because of what happened a year ago. And in 2023, they really didn't spend a lot of money, but not one of those free agents stuck. So I would assume this year that 1, possibly 2 starters. Could it be a right guard starter? Could it be a number 2 wide receiver starter? And then maybe you get a guy that can compete to be the second or third safety. That's kind of the way I look at it, right? I don't think they're going to overpay and go out and get Trey Smith. I don't think they're going to overpay and go out. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers are going to be available. And let's also throw in there that, the possibility of trading for wide receivers. And that could be sketchy as well because you get a guy like George Pickens, all right, final year of his deal. So what does that mean? You make a trade for him, but when you're in the final year of your contract, you're going to have to pay a ton of money to extend him. So this is going to be, again, a very, very interesting offseason. The good news is the Jags have 10 picks, including 5 and 36, and they have a lot of money to spend, and they'll have even more if they cut some of these free agents.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
What I mean by cutting free agents is a guy like Brandon Sheriff who has a voidable year. You can get out of it. And then others would be contract restructured situations that, we've talked an awful lot about, most notably Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I wonder if Spencer Whipple's arrival means anything for Kirk, because remember, they knew each other in Arizona at Liam Cohen's introductory press conference that made the rounds, and when he was introducing himself to Christian Kirk, do you know Spencer Whipple? And they kind of had a nice moment there. And is it interesting to anybody else, and I'm going to talk to a couple of guys about this tonight, that they hired a quarterback coach before they hired an offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
That's interesting, right?
It's backwards. It is. Yeah.
And I don't know what that means, if anything. Something I took note of today.
You think they're down to 2 candidates for offense coordinator? Where are you there?
I think it's going to be the guy in L.A.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Showhouse?
Nate Showhouse.
Showhouse.
And I've told you this, I would go Kevin Carberry because I think the offensive line coach is the most important hire that this team needs to make, given the title of offensive coordinator, and then bring in others who can be assistant head coaches, passing game coordinators, whatever, position coaches that also give them that title. I feel like that's waning on me a little bit.
Yeah, I just think that the way it's going, I think Shieldhouse is going to be the guy. That's no inside knowledge or anything. That's just the way it's going. The GM to me is a lot more fascinating. Look, I think it was all Ian Cunningham all the time, but apparently there's another guy out in L.A. that people seem to really like. Is it Gladstone? That all of a sudden Jaguar fans are like, yeah, this guy's drafting his tail off. Let's go get him. So he was kind of the flavor of the day as far as the GM search goes.
Yeah. 2 additions today. And again, also Mike Goldberg said, thanks, but no thanks. I'll stay with these Buccaneers.
Give me a break. The whole Greenberg thing in Tampa, he pulls his name out of the running. The only reason an assistant GM pulls their name out of the running for a GM job is he thought he wasn't going to get it and he wants to save face. I don't buy that he loves the Glazers and he loves all the people in Tampa and thanks but no thanks. That's the spin they're putting on it, and that's fine and well. I find that very, very hard to believe.
All right, what's coming up tonight?
Eric Dillard. Dilla on social media is going to join me to give his thoughts on everything that's transpired with the Jags. I know Jag fans always enjoy hearing from Dilla. Also, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. And I guess we'll officially kick off draft talk as we're going to have 2.5 months of it. John Vogel, Draft Vogel, he's got a draft guide out. He'll be, I guess, our first official draft guest of 2025.
Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, and that's going to be it for me for a night. I will not be here tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday and Friday. Thank you to Alpha. Said Blue Alpha Leopard. Said Blue, my wife kicked me out because she said I watched too much of Into the Night. She tried to change the channel to Days of Our Lives. No, damn it. I want to watch Blue Talk Ball. That's on YouTube. A lot of folks in on YouTube tonight. So that is appreciated as always. Thanks for the calls. Thanks to you on the text line. Again, I don't check any of that. Now that the show is over, you can get me always on Twitter or X at Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll do it again Thursday at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.